servants get 15% salary hike and Nankuma falls again. Some of the stories are found on the front page of our today's newspapers. Welcome to our today's edition of Press Review right here on Luntha Television. And in today's program, you're with me, Charity Chilanga, and I'm joined by
Emmanuel George.
I want to go when you are. That's all. Mukonza
Nankuma falls again. Supreme Court rebuffs him. Others. The Supreme Court of Appeal has dismissed with cost an application by Democratic Progressive Party (DPP) Gondwani Nankuma and two others who were challenging their removal from respective positions. Two new ones. The three were against DPP President Peter Mutharika's decision to remove them from their position. Nankuma was moved from the position of Vice President for the Southern Region to that of advisor to Mutharika. Mutharika also relieved Cressida Jeffrey to her duties as a secretary of the party. Yeah.
The drama continues.
Yes, drama continues, and it is very interesting. Yeah, what is happening. Kudilibindi tu anabizeka kuti anthu amunga tikona kuti majuti zawo anawasintha and then all of a sudden anazapeza kuti samagwirizana nazo Anankhumwa ndi Cressida Jeffrey ndi amzawo anapita ku court kukapanga appeal. It looks like kuti kumene konso ethu abwererako sizinaendere and aperekanso ndalama now.
So what's interesting, but it's interesting. Monitambali kuti muli the other side.
No, leo ndilibe mbali. What is interesting now, you see, anthuwa anapita ku court. Ku court akabwerako ndizi awakanira. Alipira ndalama. Now, the story continues because today Nankuma has been summoned. Akwenera kuti akatani akaonekere kumene. We don't know what would be the outcome of akakakumana lerolo. But this is not the only story. There are a lot of things that is happening. Okay. And this year, I think it will be an interesting year because it's campaign year bigger. We are approaching elections, so I am sure they will try their best to make sure that they settle down everything in time. Yeah, so if yes.
On the front page of the Nation newspaper, civil servants get 15% salary hike, raise effective November last year, but nurses, physicians demand 22 to 40% range. Patri, the story says, government has agreed to raise civil servants' salaries by an average of 15% after the workers protested the 10% hike the nation has learned. The increment is effective November 1st, 2023, but will start to reflect in January salaries, with arrears, union leaders said in separate interviews yesterday. However, Capitol Hill still has to deal with the National Organization of Nurses and Midwives of Malawi and Physicians Assistants Union of Malawi, POM, who insisted to an increment of up to 40% after the 44% kwacha devaluation last year.
Can it? Yeah, okay. We go straight to the Daily Times. Audit report faults MDF on 108 million food ration outlay. March 31, 2022, audit report by the National Audit Office has faulted the Malawi Defense Force, MDF, for purchasing food ration worth 108 million kwacha from supplier that did not participate in the bidding process. The Public Procurement and Disposal of Assets Act of 2017 states in a section 49-1 that a notice of acceptance of a bid shall be given to a successful bidder, and that the procurement and disposing entity shall prepare and sign a contract with such a bidder prior to its institution. But according to the report, a review of the procurement records revealed that MDF purchased food ration amounting to 108 million kwacha from suppliers that did not compete in the bidding process for provision of the rations to MDF.
All right.
Yeah, okay. Before we go to
The next story.
The next story. Ineyo zinto zimene zimachitika mdziko lathu lino right? Zimandidabwitsa komanso zimandimvetsa chisoni. You see, akunena kuti 108 million. And when you look at MDF, it's one of the imene anthu timene amwena amaipatsa ulemu kwambiri.
Yes.
And they're supposed to portray a good example of maparastatals. Now you look at zimene akunena kuti okay, kunali ngati tenda inatuluka yoti anthu apange supply zakudya.
Yes.
And then it happened kuti anakula zakudyazo kwa masupplier amene sanapange nawo bid for the contract. Now you utamadzifunsa kuti why is this happening? Ine mwina mukuona kwanga ona kuti ena ake mwina anadya sanapatse anthu mwina amene amayenera kuti amene anapanga nawo anapikisana. So this is another thing imene bambo Bottomani apapa anenenato akuti MTF be the last entity to be caught in this situation. And this is a serious issue. I am sure they will try to find out chilungamo chake cheni. And if there are people involved in this or another with zina zake, etieni tisasankhe malamulo agwire ntchito. Yes.
All right, AG rebuffs AUM Shugon arbitration. Attorney General AG Thabo Chagaka Nyerinda has rejected demands by AUM Shugon Light Limited of India for arbitration instead of outright termination of their shareholding deal in Salima Sugar Company Limited. The AG confirmed yesterday that the two shareholders through KD Freeman and Associates wrote to the Greenbelt Authority GPA as a shareholder asking for arbitration. On December 19, 2023, GBA Chief Executive Officer Elik Dadrejizungu announced the termination of the deal, saying the agreement had been breached as revealed by results of a recent government-instituted forensic audit.
Salima Sugar, kwinanso mene company mene yukhanga ti uchiruka zambiri zochitika, but what the Attorney General has done, it's a very good thing. I'm sure menanda nenera akulankhula nthawi nake kuti they will make sure kuti they will follow up and zinthu zikwenera zidzienda mmene zikwenera kumakhalira amene akulakwitsa pa ntchito lamulo ligwire pa ntchito. So that is another good thing zimene apanga Attorney General. We are hoping for the best. Salima Sugar company yakwathu kuno ku Malawi muli ma shareholders.
Yes.
And we are hoping kuti timafuna mmene adanenera mmodzi mwa anthu amene amamenyera so ufulu amalawi kunena kuti abambonamiyo ananena kuti amalakalaka Salima Sugar wa ku Malawi kuno atamachipa aliyense adzikwanitsa kuti kugula. So that is another thing kuti awetsetsa kuti zinthu kumeneko zikuyenda bwino pasamaloweza chinyengo. We have another story here. It reads, suicide remains thorn in stakeholders' flesh. For some time now, suicide has proven to be one of Malawi worst nightmares. Statistics from the Ministry of Health indicates that from January to November 2023, suicide cases increased to 366, up from 288 cases that were registered during the corresponding period in the year 2022. Malawi Police Service MPS records also shows that suicide cases have more than doubled in the past 5 years, has jumped from 128 to 2018 to 292 between January and December 2022. This means that the current suicide rate is at 11.6 per 100,000 people, higher than the global average of 10.5 per 100,000 people. Zodzipa zikuoneka kuti kumalawi kuno ndezikuchitika almost each and every day umamva kuti anthu adzimangirira, anthu adzipha. This is a very it's a worrisome thing. And let us try our best kuti tionetse kuti zimene ziti ziyewe. But what do you think some of the zimene zimachititsa kuti anthu adziphe? Amuna fe
namene mungumazipha kwambiri ndemungafuna kuze bwino ndine mungumazipha
okay akuti to amuna Now, this is what I can comment regarding this issue.
Yes.
Okay, Amuna, let us try our best, regardless of whatsoever situation we are facing. It's good we share with our friends, we share with someone. They will give us solutions, they would advise us, rather than goody tizisungire doka manena goody problem shared, it's problem what? Solved. So yeah, in both genders, women, men, let us try our best. Did share my problems out.
Alright guys, Kamsalale dispute to go for mediation, but with the story says Electricity Supply Corporation of Malawi, ESCOM Executive Management and ESCOM Staff Union, ESU, have agreed to resolve the ongoing dispute over salary increment through mediation. The nation is linked. A letter was sent from ESU President Charity Halawa and Secretary General Wida de Mnyamola dated December 28, 2023, and addressed to the Ministry of Labour Principal Secretary West Kaila, indicates that the two sides settled for Professor Gaton Kantizela to conciliate. Kanyavutandia kuwezela malipiro kambaka kugwa wandarama ya kwacha.
Yes, and I think it was, if it's not early December, it should be towards the end of November. ESCOM mugiranchiro kumeneko anavanga to strike. Ndipo inali to strike osangonena kuti strike koma anthu adabwera adaonetsa kubwera kwawo. Now as we can see, kuti anthu afuna tikuzwa ichi zimene zidachitika kwacha idakwa 44% devaluation. Then now also adapempha kumeneko kunena kuti akuti salaleso yawo ikwere ndi 44%, osati adzakwezera ndi 8% kapena 10%. So yeah, yavula nkhani ndi imene. So I'm sure kuti zinthu zikhala bwino akambirana. We have another story. It says ADMAC recruitment process at 95%. Agricultural Development and Marketing Corporation, ADMAC, has said its staff recruitment process is at about 95%. In January last year, ADMAC retrenched all its members of staff as part of restructuring exercise. Speaking at Chiradzulu Secondary School in Chiradzulu district, where he officially opened a training for security guards, ADMAC Chief Executive Officer Dan Makata said everything is going on well. The restructuring of ADMAC meant that we needed to recruit almost everybody. The process is now coming to an end because we are about 95%, meaning that we have now hired almost everybody we required. The guards we are training and are important because we have to ensure that our commodities are secure in depots, Makata said. ADMAC inatetselwa ndipo anthu anayotsedwa ntchito. Now akunena kuti amalemba anthu akulemba anthu ntchito. Now zolemba anthu ntchito zimenezi almost 95% amaliza. This is another good thing imene ndidakapempha ndipo ndidakakonda atamaliza msanga chifukwa anthu midzi mweti asanasowe kugula chimanga. Samapeze kuti apita mmadi magimina kuti kulibe kugwira ntchito kotseka idangotsala building ndi dzina lokha. So as they are saying, they are training guards kuti akapange make sure kuti all their commodities and assets are safe. This is a very good development. We hope January unasapezeke kuti watha zisanayambe chifukwa sitofuna ndimve anthu abale anu abale athu kumudziko akufa ndi njala. No.
Alright, let's quickly move on to the business segment. Initiative government and debt restructuring in recognition multilateral development banks. But with the story says, economic experts have urged government to engage local commercial and multilateral development banks to ensure the success of its debt restructuring efforts. But the experts have cautioned that government will face an uphill task to bring the financial institutions on board. Business Review understands that government is yet to engage in any meaningful discussions with creditors to restructure the country's sovereign debt, which International Monetary Fund (IMF) data shows has risen to 12.56 trillion kwacha, or about 76% of the country's gross domestic product, GDP.
Business. 1 of 10 has salaried jobs. Only 1 in every 10 Malawian over the ages of 15 has a wage salary paying job. The latest Malawi Country Economy Memorandum by the World Bank has shown. The memorandum notes that women especially struggle to find decent jobs, in part due to their relatives' under-enrollment in secondary and tertiary education institutions, with most ending up at less productive informal macro, small and medium enterprise. According to the bank, the private sector is central to addressing Malawi's urgent employment challenge. It notes that with population increase about 2.5% per year, the economy is not growing fast enough to provide decent jobs for over 400,000 young Malawians entering the labor market annually. The memorandum says Malawians' firm faces considerable constraints to growth, microphysical fundamental access to reliable power and access to markets have been identified as crucial bottlenecks.
Right, news from across borders. Morocco seizes 1.5 tons of cocaine. Police in Morocco have seized 1.488 tons of cocaine concealed in banana boxes inside a shipping container aboard a vessel originating from South America heading to Turkey. According to the BBC, the illegal substance was seized on Tuesday at Tengemid port in northern Morocco. Moroccan authorities suspect the cocaine was part of an international drug smuggling operation.
Arts and culture. Movie gets attention month after premiere. An 80 million budget film titled School Days, which was premiered in Rilongwe and Blantyre last year, has become the chart of the moment following its drop on YouTube 6 days ago. The film has been trending on social media since it was put on YouTube, and in 4 days it has generated over 250,000 views. The movie, by musician filmmaker Kendo Kamando of Simon and Kendo fame and Lawrence Nyari directed Besta Kaua, has earned kudos from people, with some rating it as the best they have watched so far locally. Muidzi wine. Mubeze nthawe. Mubireba YouTube. Mukaonere mani kwelo. Mani Kendo. Actually, it's a very nice movie and educative. Now, in any friend in the church, and this angalatsa amene story mene ayambia. Movie mukamfusa mukacheza ndikendo akunena kuti anaononga drama yokwana 18 million Malawi kwacha. Now akunenanso kunena kuti movie anaipangatu premiere kulilongo ndi ku Blantyre last year. I am wondering why people are appreciating now. This is a very good movie and more, right? Movie in the last year. I'm telling you, what was episode of Bangama Awards? Move of the year. But this is a very nice movie.
Oh,
yeah, it's a very nice movie. Mogayo onere amala ndo gobe mpanye tijurugitse ma viewers anyamata wa YouTube also tigayo onere tikabeza.
Okay, Kantukule has ECG for spiritual tourism drive. The Minister of Tourism, Mavela Kantukule, has thanked Enlightened Christian Gathering ECG, the Jesus Nation Church, for driving spiritual tourism. She made the remarks in Kaningoli on Sunday during the ECG crossover service, then the night of wealth transfer.
Brighton International Sports says Brighton ends first clean sheet of the season. Brighton boss Roberto De Zerbi praised his side. Very smart game after they kept their first Premier League clean sheet of the season at West Ham. It was the first time in 24 league matches Brighton have not conceded a goal, ending the club record run. Brighton had more possessions and better chances in a largely doored game to open 2024 for both sides at London Stadium.
All right, moving on to the back page of the Nation newspaper. Silver outweighed Bullets on chase for Gototo. Silver Strikers have outwitted FCB Nyasa Bullets in the chase for Blue Eagles blossoming forward Christopher Gototo. The People's team appeared favourites to sign the player, having agreed personal terms, but in a sudden twist to the issue, the Malawi Police Services side has agreed transfer terms with the central bankers. In an interview yesterday, Eagles General Secretary Benjamin Sowoya confirmed that the club's management settled for Silver.
Stern warning, Sports Ministry hits at BNS ban. The Ministry of Youth and Sports has disclosed that it will put strict conditions on some teams who use the iconic National Bank Stadium as one way of stopping supporters from vandalizing their facility. Easy, kunali mpira, finals. After ena kuluza, anabizode ayamba kuzula mipando, kuononga ku stadium, nwabanga vandalize. So, akunena a Ministry of Sports zimenezes inendizona the matimu enageti akwenera awaone bwino because I remember when I saw a certain football match, the very same team was playing. Actually, Cindy Bisa team, it's Silver Strikers, was playing at how many on the Wanderers. It happened with Gunajidiga 0-0. And Zao, they were fined. And I and drama Zambini. Silver Strikers was playing with Mafco. Again, Silver Strikers, they are loser. We see their supporters vandalizing. This is not a very good thing. Yes, I'm sure. Our nego, Bambo, Haya, Kufam Kumenego, Manso Suno, Kumenego, please, the Ministry of Sports.
Let's be patriotic enough. Tizisamala zinto zimbi zathu zomwe cause timapezeka tikungopanga zinthu zimodzimodzi kumangobwerera mbuyo, so sizingatitengere kwina kuliwonse. And that also brings us to the end of our today's edition of Press Review right here on Luntha Television. Remember, we just take you through some of the stories. And in today's program, you're with me, Charity Chilanga, alongside
Emmanuel Churcha.
Continue watching Luntha Television for the rest of the programs. Good morning.
Luntha TV is now on Zuku Channel 51. You can get yourself a Zuku decoder from the Luntha